Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Pace with Jacqueline. Today, I have a very special guest, my very good girlfriend, Sunny Durham. She, in fact, is one of those folks that stick to you in ways not like where you need to find her. It's more like her personality just grabs you, and so you want more. And so I brought her on the show today because I want to share her with you all just a little bit. She retired from the federal government before 50. And the reason why I want to talk about this today is because a lot of us kind of get wrapped up in our jobs, knowing maybe that we should be choosing something else, right? And so I want her to share her story with us. But before we do that, Sunny, welcome to Pace. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you for inviting me. I know I shared with you before that Pace was a really big part of my journey.
Yeah.
And I met you before I had a clear idea. I knew I wanted to retire, but I hadn't taken that faith jump.
Yes.
And I remember listening to my first episode when you sent me the first episode of Pace, and I was in my car. It was freezing cold. I was waiting for the car to warm up, and it's 5 o'clock in the morning because I'm ready to take my Northern Virginia federal job commute.
Yep.
And the lights from the parking lot were this strange halogen type glow,
like from a movie.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
I know what you
your
mean.
voice, and so I, and in my state of mind was, I was all types of confused and overwhelmed by trying to make this decision, right? And trying to do what was right at the time.
Yeah.
All these voices in my head, and then your voice came on. And girl, first of all, I was so proud of you for taking the leap and being obedient.
Because you know it was.
Yes.
You know it was a huge leap. And you know I had to be obedient because I wasn't planning this.
You were not, but because you were, you blessed me in that moment. I will never forget my first encounter. Please, y'all, check out all episodes of season 1. Jackie is taking you. You are a storyteller too. You're taking your listeners on a journey as well. And I know on this episode I'm going to share some things that you didn't know that you said. Do you know that I actually have a Pace archive? It's like a vault where I've kept like little things that you've said. It's hard sometimes to keep up, but
Only
I know
you.
It has blessed.
See, this is what I mean, right? She's the person. She sticks to you somehow. I mean, and you don't have to do a whole lot, but she's there. I mean, a vault, like I just would have not even. Sunny,
I'm a fan.
Listen, we have paper towels.
I'm a fan.
Tissue here because there might be some time. So we want you to make sure you get yours. And this next moment now might be one of those moments because I have something for you.
I
have a gift.
Jackie.
Happy retirement.
Jackie,
I love you very much.
First of all, the box in and of itself. Who does it? This is like Macy's store.
Listen, oh my God.
Where you take in the and it's got the I almost broke my gift. I love it.
Do you really?
Yes, I have like this chamomile tea that I haven't opened. And this is going to be perfect. And look at the little spoon. And I love it. This is perfect.
I'm so glad. Happy retirement, Sunny. Seriously, you deserve all the things. That's just the beginning.
Thank you. I wish I had some tea or some wine to put in there now.
I know, right?
I'm going to have to hold off. I'm going to have to hold off.
Just for a little bit.
I so appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was unexpected. Yeah.
You're welcome. All right, y'all. So let's really get started for real this time. So Sunny, I want to ask you a question. I want you to share with the audience. I want to go back just a little bit, actually to the beginning. I want to talk about when you first decided or had opportunity to work for the federal government. Can you tell us how that came about? Were you influenced? Did you have someone that helped you along? What can you give us something?
Yeah. negative on the someone to help me. I found the federal government by desperation.
Wow.
And I say this as an encouragement to the young people who are graduating now. I have a younger sister who graduated 2 years ago. It's hard. It's hard out there in this job market.
It is.
And that's what I was facing at the time when I graduated college as a journalist. I had a journalism degree. And I had to work for some newspapers, but I couldn't find an entry-level journalism position. And so I was working at The Gap.
Wow.
Nothing wrong with working at The Gap.
Wow.
Great benefits now at The Gap. And when I look back on it, I felt the pressure of needing to find like a full-time job, of needing to say that I graduated from college and I now work at ... right?
Yeah, yeah.
Having that incomplete in my life was a big source of pressure. And even though I was working at The Gap, it was like one of the happiest times of my life. It was prep. It was preparation for what was to come, especially for my patients, and especially for, it was like the seed development of my faith, to believe that I could go from The Gap to the federal government.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, I basically applied for, I saw an ad and they were looking for journalists.
They were
looking for journalists, people who had a journalism background.
Really?
To do the type of writing that was required. And so I should also say too that I'm from Indiana. I was living in Indiana at this time. So when I talk about the seed faith work, like I left Indiana and moved to DC, knew no one.
Oh, okay. So this was a job within the DMV area. So you had to move from home and come here.
Correct. I was 22.
Oh, Sunnye.
I was 22, and I can remember this, and this is where the tears are going to come. I remember my mom riding the train with me to come down here, and we were going to meet the movers, right? And I remember the movers came and everything, and I got set up in an apartment. My parents came down and like helped me apartment search, but it was my mom who came because my dad couldn't get off. And I remember when my mom had to leave and go back to Indiana, I remember putting her in the cab and saying goodbye.
Oh, Sunnye.
Yeah, like she was the child.
Oh,
and I was the
my
mom.
God.
And I remember when it first dawned on me that I was by myself, I had a can of pop, a bottle of pop, like Pepsi, and I couldn't open it. And there was no one in the apartment because I knew no one who could open it, and it just sat there.
Sunnye, that's huge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, we're not even 7 minutes in, and already.
Not. Okay.
Yeah.
So listen. Pace, as we all know it, is about taking those, honest steps, but sometimes those steps are unknown. We just heard, just in these first few minutes, Sunnye talk about how she stepped out on faith and did something that most would not do. And that's huge on Pace because anytime we're talking about the unknown, Sunnye, it is like, no, I don't want to do that because I don't know what's on the other side of that. Regardless of what your beliefs are, I feel like for Pace, when your heart and your mind align, when you've been praying for something, when you've been meditating on something, when you've been asking for something, when you've been studying for something, when you've been putting in effort for something and it's at your doorstep, it seems like that would be the next honest step to take. But sometimes it requires you to be brave. And Sunnye, I commend your bravery. Like, just there.
Thank you.
And I know there's so many more stories to get up until now, clearly. But I commend your bravery for being 22, coming down here on the train to the DMV area. Starting a new job, unknown, sending your mom back home.
Yeah, without me.
Without you. Yeah. That's big at 22, Sunnye. Okay. So with that, y'all, and by the way, you got some.
I'm going to use them.
Okay, all right. So Sunnye, you get down here in the DMV area. Mom has gone back. you can't open the Pepsi. You can't open the Pepsi.
That's real.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
That's as real as it gets. Uh-huh.
What happens when you get to work your first day? You're there and you're like, because I'm sure I'm about to work for the federal government. Journalists, they want me to write the way that I've been wanting to write. At least I'm thinking this is what you're thinking. Yes. What happened when you got there?
So I get to work, and I worked at one of the intelligence agencies. And 6 months in, I was like, this isn't going to work. It was misalignment.
No.
Yes, it was misalignment.
No.
6 months in, I knew. My spirit knew this is not going to work. And I say that, I say this to say that as you know, the spirit knows. Mm-hmm. And so, but there was a lot of what I call, like, I had to do some, what do I call it? You have to reset your default settings. And by that, I mean, I was surrounded by people, of course, family, friends. You got a good government job.
Of course, they're saying
like
that.
the creme de la creme. You got a good government job.
Yeah. You went to school for this. Mm-hmm. This is what you got your degree in. How can you say? Oh, I'm sure me and the audience, we know what that's like.
Yeah. And if it's not a good government job, then you got a good this job. Whatever applies to your situation, I know that's a big pressure. And also from within the organization itself, there weren't a lot of Blacks in my position. So my Black mentors were like, you got to stay. It's the Oprah syndrome, right? Where you feel the weight, you're carrying the weight of sometimes a gender, a race. And so I was carrying that
culture.
too. Exactly. The culture. Thank you. The culture at 22. You're carrying that, and they're telling me, you know, all these Black men, you know, these men are like, they're about to retire and head out the door with all of these illustrious careers, and they're saying, you can have this too, but just stay, it'll get better.
Tough it out.
That's another default. Say, just stay, it'll get better. Tough it out. And I listened. And because of that, I had some amazing experiences in the federal government. Would never take it back. It prepped my character.
Okay.
It grew that seed of faith.
Yeah.
But deep down, I knew, Sunnye, you're not going to make it to retirement. Not in like the fatalistic way.
Yeah.
But I knew for the sake of myself, it wouldn't be good for me to even try to make it to retirement. I was going to have to leave to do what I really wanted to do, which is film.
Okay. So with that, all right, graduated from college and you get your good government job.
Yep.
Okay. With what you went to school for, which is, I mean, most, like you said, that's a blessing.
Yes.
But something wasn't aligned. Something wasn't working. You got in it and you realized, okay, maybe this wasn't for me, or maybe parts of this is for me. So tell us a little bit about that. Like, you went to school for the journalism. You got the job in journalism. But then what happened between journalism and film?
I found my way to film. So I was always interested in it because journalism and documentary storytelling are very similar.
Yes.
So I started in documentary. Okay. And wouldn't you know that after much campaigning and much prayer, much surrender, I got that good government job to pay for my film degree, my master's in film. It had been unheard of. No one had ever done that. Another default setting reset is I was surrounded by people who were telling me, of course,
yes,
you're never going to get that to happen. That's never been done before. That's never been done before.
Wow, Sunnye.
I kept knocking until I found my yes. I kept campaigning until I found someone, and it came down to the wire. It literally came down to, I got into film school, and I'm like 3 weeks out, and I don't have the funding.
Oh my gosh, Sunnye!
3 weeks out, and I don't have the funding. See, I don't have the, like, you know how some people have like those suddenly blessings.
Of course.
Me and God, like, he's playing the long game with me. So even though I want to be very clear that I'm still in the middle of this story, right? I did retire, but I retired after 26 years. So even though I identified, 6 months into my job that I didn't, something was misaligned, it took the 26 years of prep, of developing my character, of getting me ready, not even on the financial end, just me as a person, especially in my new career as a filmmaker, the types of stories I wanted to tell. So it was a journey, and I can remember, it's also too about that very tricky comparison monster, right? I can remember sitting at my desk and thinking, like, I'm 23 years in, and like nothing is happening. And look at all my friends. Look what they've accomplished in 23 years, and you still got me here.
So, Sunnye, how did you get through that? Like, because that self-sabotage, like it is a real thing. And that comparison, it is a real thing, but it's a lie. We can say it, we know it, but when you're in the middle of something, as we all have experienced, when you're in the middle of a storm, you don't see any way out. You are discouraged. Lots of anxiety and pressure and all kind darkness, right? So Sunnye, how did you manage? How did you get, you said 26 years.
Yes.
So how did you get from, I'm sure there were several, like you said, there were highs and lows.
Absolutely.
But when did you begin to say, okay, I am going to retire before 50 and I'm going to be a filmmaker? Like, when did the why meet up with the actual? Like, when did it meet?
A couple things happened that were key. Number one, I started to find a community that reflected what I wanted to be.
Okay.
So that was key. And so, and I say this too to people who, because remember, I'm not from this area. So I was starting from scratch. So for all the people who think, they need to have like this huge, inner circle, I had none of that. So I started from scratch and I joined some film organizations, and not just any film organization. This one was geared for people who kind of already had full-time jobs and were trying to do were doing professional film in addition to. So they were just like me. And so I was listening to their stories, but most importantly, I looked to see, like, they were doing it. So if they could do it, I could do it.
Absolutely.
And I saw, like, how were they doing? How were they dividing their time? And one thing that I started to do was, I always say, even now, always start your day feeding yourself first. So if that's a workout, if that's, me writing like a 1 page in a screenplay, whatever it is, before I get to work, that's what I do first, before I give any of my time and energy to a job, right? I feed myself first.
Right.
Yeah, it leaves you a little bit more fulfilled at the end of the day, because if you put it off until, sometimes you have to, right?
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
But I found for myself, if I was putting it off at the end of the day, then I was giving my second best to what was most precious to me. And I didn't like the way that made me feel at the end of the night. So those were some things. The community was a really big part in finding people to model, essentially, who had already done it. And that's also what I did with retirement. I found, of course, everyone again says it can't be. What do you mean to retire at the fit? What?
Right.
Right. Either I was crazy for doing it.
Right.
Or I was crazy for thinking that I could get the money to do it. Crazy for the idea and crazy for the actual logistics of it.
Sounds like to me people just didn't understand the exceptional faith you have.
They did not. And of course, my faith along the way, like 26 years, is gonna wait. I can remember thinking, I remember reading and like trying to find in the Bible, like, how long was it Moses? He was like exiled in the desert. I was like, how long was that? Because if I'd been in this job longer than Moses has been in the desert, I was gonna have some work. I remember that was my benchmark. I can't remember how long Moses was in the desert.
Sunnye.
I felt like I was in the desert. When am I gonna leave the desert?
I'm sorry, Sunnye.
No,
that's
it's
good.
true.
That is an excellent comparison.
That was like my benchmark. Yes. There were times, and I had, the scripture we always got the scripture that we cling to.
Yes.
And mine was God is always faithful to complete kind of what he starts. And so I clung to it. I was like,
yeah,
God, you gave me this prompt. Like, this crazy idea came from somewhere.
Right.
And I believe that you're going to, and it was my goal to retire by 50. I'm going to say something else too. My goal to retire by 50. I retired at 49.
Yeah.
So when I say God is good and he exceeds, like he got me like a year before.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, and some people would say like, oh, just a year. First of all, 50.
When you're in the desert.
Just 50. Mm-hmm. And then, because what is the retirement age now? Is it 70?
Yeah, they're trying to push it to 70.
Right? So, or it's like 67, 68. Mm-hmm. Sunnye, before 50, regardless of what that number is, that is absolutely incredible. And I want to pause here because I want all of you to feel this. It can be done is the point. It can be done. Sunnye stepped out on faith. She believed in herself. She believed in her God. She believed in her community. She believed in ability. She didn't let people tell her or direct her into not doing what she knew was her next honest step. And that is, again, what PACE is all about. This is a community as well, allowing people the opportunity to relate to stories and situations with real people who have overcome, because that's what we're doing every day.
Absolutely.
Overcoming. No matter what you're into, we got to get to the next thing. We got to get to the next thing. So, okay, Sunnye, I want to dive into what she has called her second act. Yes. What does that mean?
The second act is the best act in film terms, in the film world. The second act is the longest act. It's also where the hero of the story, we say, self-actualizes, right? They come into their identity. They come into their purpose. It can also be where the hero encounters, however, the most opposition.
Oh my goodness.
So this is why I call it my second act. The first act is all set up.
Yeah.
And the second act is tremendous growth.
Wow.
So I call it that. And I say that too because when I say that I've, retired by 50, oftentimes people have like a very romanticized idea of what it is to take a leap of faith.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, it must be so nice and to, to be that brave and to have that courage. When it's, of course, like you said, it's terrifying. Yes, I have faith. Yes, I had faith all along. Did it get shaky? Absolutely, because of the time involved. But at the end of the day, I had, even if it was like 2 millimeters more faith than fear, I had more faith than fear. I was more afraid of who I would become if I stayed than if I left.
Yeah.
And that was the trigger. That was the trigger point.
Oh my gosh.
Really. And I actually had a faith counselor like 3 months before I made the actual decision.
Yes.
My head was so cloudy with like outside opinions and am I doing the right thing? Also too, I think there's a scripture that says, I will give you treasures in the darkness. So this was a blessing, but it was coming at a really dark time with everything going on in what was a new administration.
Yeah.
A lot of Black women at my job lost their jobs because they were in diversity and inclusion.
Yeah.
They were offering early retirement, which is how I retired, by the way. It was a program. It was the early retirement program. But it was messy.
Yeah.
It was unclear. People didn't trust it. The terms were always, were always changing. So I say that sometimes faith will bring you to a point and it will get you out. but it's not always romanticized and clean and cinematic and roses. And sometimes it's messy.
Yeah.
Sometimes God gets you out and it's messy, but he gets you out.
But he gets you out.
And I got out.
I think that's life, Sunnye. I really do. Like when I think about life just in itself, you know, every day, you know, and thank God we are waking up to a new day. And that new day is not the same.
Right.
It's not like yesterday. You encounter new things and new situations, and your faith is tested. Your bravery is tested. Something that you never, ever experienced happens. And then you have to figure out how to get through, you know? So again, I am just so like in awe, like by your bravery, your faith, and just the examples that you know, exude. Like you were alone. That part I can't get over. Cause, and not to go back, but
Didn't
like I think about.
Didn't you? I mean, you know, the whole time I'm telling the story, I'm thinking to myself, what you amazed for? You did the same thing.
I mean, there are some similarities,
with
but this
a little.
is about you.
Okay.
This is about you because I want people to see it's not just me that I've gone through some things, and you all know based on season 1 that there were some things that I had to encounter and go through on my own, but there are others, and I think that's the point in you being here and other guests because, you know, social media. I'll say this: social media, the news, can twist things and make, if you will, a host or a facilitator, a podcaster, a news anchor, you know, commentator. They can make people look so perfect, right? And all their stories are just wow, you know. So you're inspired, but then you also feel like, how will I ever
Great point.
get there? How will I ever be able to wear those clothes and, or, you know, wear my hair like that, or, you know, have that set, or, you know, whatever it is, right? And so for me with Pace, I want my audience, I want this community to know that it's not me. It's all of us. We all have a story. It's so important. And we can glean from each other, not just one person. Because I'm not perfect. No one is. But that doesn't mean that we can't make it.
Absolutely. And Pace was particularly healing for me because in the 26 years, you know, I felt out of line. I never really was because God was still developing my character so I could be a good film director, right? And be a good leader. And I was still working in film. I made sure to have my hands in it so that I could feel complete coming to work, right? I wasn't looking to work for my identity. My identity was what I felt in my purpose in film.
So I do have a question though.
Yes.
In that, when you went from journalism in the federal government right before retirement, did you just take opportunities as working up to retirement? Like if you saw something that was posted, say for example, and you were like, oh, because I hate this, I just want to get out. Did you just like go for it? Or were you strategic in saying, okay, I'm doing journalism right now. I'm going to wait until a position is posted that has something to do with film work?
Great question. Initially, because I was doing things in my own strength, I was taking positions that I thought would strategically position me for a successful retirement. And I took one position and my heart wasn't in it. And it was a disaster because my heart, I couldn't show up as myself fully, you know, with all of the energy and the focus and the talent. It just was not there. And I prayed about it. I was so sure that God would end. I was like, God, I don't want to be here, but because I'm praying to you, surely you will grant me the focus that I need. And it was a lesson for me to not go against to not betray. It felt like a betrayal of myself.
Right.
And I hated the way it felt. And so I learned not to do that. And so from that point on, I started to take positions that were creative. And those positions were not career enhancing. And that was a hard pill to swallow, but I had to put on my big girl panties and say, Sunnye, you can either be, you have to be okay. Like I couldn't be mad at the organization for not promoting me.
Right.
Because I was choosing these positions. I had literally just, I chose myself.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I chose myself, and I couldn't be mad at them.
Gosh,
that I wasn't advancing.
Sunnye.
And that was an honest conversation with myself. Like I couldn't go in there with a sour face and,
Sunnye, that is so incredibly brave. I cannot even tell you. Okay, I want to unpack that just a little bit. I want to, because Sunnye, a lot of us take positions because we have this goal in mind. Like you said, just okay, for this situation, retirement. So now I'm going to go get this position that's paying me 7 figures. Right? I know nothing about it, but I know the person who's hiring. I know if I say I want this, they'll hire me. Then you get there and it's crappy.
Yes.
You get there and you have no seat at the table. You get there and you were a pawn. You get there and now you owe somebody.
Yeah. And you're just a body in a seat.
And you're a body in a seat.
And they treat you as such. Mm-hmm.
And they treat you like that. Oh, but you got your 7. You got your 7 figures. Uh-huh. So, okay, hang on, because this is for your retirement that is 20 years away.
Yes.
I just, Sunnye, we do it every day.
Yes. And I completely get why. I 110.
Me too.
Even now, because when you retire, most people go back on contract. And so there's the lure of that, right? To go back and let's make more money. That is tempting. I'm just being straight up honest.
Yes.
I got films to make. Films cost money.
Yes.
They cost a lot of money.
Yes.
It is tempting.
I remember you telling me that.
And honestly, like I'm there's a part of me that's really undecided, but there's also that part of me that's like, God, I know you didn't take me out. I don't think he took me out to have me go back to that. So I'm gonna fight it. We're gonna try to stay the course.
You know, Sunnye, I agree in the way of waiting until it's clear, because I think that is so important. You know, a lot of times, and you have already shared that you have learned so many lessons in this journey, you know, where you just moved too quickly or you didn't rely on God the way that you knew you needed to, and you weren't honest with yourself. You know, I totally would wait it out. You talked about him arriving in that last hour.
Oh, thank you for that reminder. See, this is why I come to the couch. There's so much noise. I completely get there's so much noise in your head when you're coming to these decisions that I need the Jacqueline reminders. I needed pace when I was looking at the 26 years and like, I'm behind. I'm 26 years in and everyone is doing this and I am behind.
And you are not. Girl, this is your race.
Yeah.
No, you are not behind. None of us are. None of us are. If we remain true, like you did, you, Sunnye, you remain true to yourself. You made that one mistake. You said, I'm going to go and get this job and I'm just going to just be there. But then you couldn't show up. Yeah. You couldn't be you. You were uncomfortable in your own skin.
Yes. For 8 hours a day, that takes a toll. Oh, that's what I want to talk about too. 8 hours a day, not feeling like yourself, playing a role, takes a toll.
But it's not just 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
It's not just the 8. It's not just the 8. You have to be that. You have to act for 8.
Yes.
But then the rest of the day, you have to prepare to act some more.
You're right. And then recover from the acting.
And recover.
Yeah.
This is why we got to be careful. This is why we got to be careful. And we got to learn the lessons from our people. You know, we got to share our stories with our people.
Yes.
Because it's not worth it. It's not worth it if you can't be who you are. You can't give to the world the way it was intended for you to give to the world if you are pretending to be something that you aren't.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to learn the hard way. If you're not being true to yourself.
Yes.
Sunnye, I'm so glad you learned a lesson. I'm so glad you brought it up. I want to talk to you now a little bit about your filmmaking.
My joy.
Yeah, because I know this is what brings you joy and peace, and I know this is what makes you happy.
It is.
So can you tell us a little bit about like what you're doing? What is it? Like what, from conception till now? Like what? What is it?
Yeah. So I am a film director, both documentary and narrative, and I specialize in faith-based films and content. One of the things I've always loved is like looking at the constant push and pull between faith and circumstance, right? And how it shows up.
Right on time.
And yes. And now I'm living it, right?
Yes.
And I'm living it like live, like some of the things I've been saying, like I haven't figured it out. I'm still kind of stumbling as I'm going on. And so I like creating characters who are going through the same thing, especially not judging them.
Yeah.
When as a filmmaker, I get to create, I'm writing the stories that I want to direct because I feel like real nuanced faith-based content is hard to find as a director. So I have to write my own.
That's beautiful.
My own content. Yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful, Sunnye.
Yeah. And a lot of them are inspired by the stories of my good girlfriends, right? Like those are the stories I want to see. I want to see those amazing women.
Sunnye, you have the stories too. Like your whole, just your career. I mean, we haven't even got into her personal life. we haven't gotten into the personal life.
I was blessed in that way too, yes.
We haven't. We're just talking about your career life.
Yes.
And that alone has so many sections, and I can only imagine the faith-based films that could come from just taking pieces from your 26 years of...
I can't help but to weave them in there, right? You can only create really from your own experience in a sense. And so certainly, it's in there. It's also therapy for me.
Right?
Yeah. I wanted to ask you too, how is, PACE is therapy for all of us. So as you're sitting and like sculpting the episodes, how much of it is also therapy for you?
Oh man, you could not even imagine.
Yeah.
How I go back and listen. I will write it out. I will do like a couple of drafts, like, on the mic, all mic'd up, and then I'll send it to my phone, and then I put my pods in, and I'll sit in a quiet space, not in the studio or anything, or I'll sit in another space because I don't want to be in the environment where I created it.
Yeah, it changes the meaning.
It changes it. So I'll get in a very quiet, cool space, and it's just me and this voice that doesn't sound like me. It doesn't sound like me. And that's the only way that I could explain it. It doesn't sound like me. So it's me and this voice and these words that are coming from this voice, and I know it's God.
There we go. There we go.
So
working through you.
Mm-hmm.
You got the gift. And so what's also interesting, what I found is, speaking of the gift, I could only, so back to the choosing positions based on what was going to make me fulfilled.
Right.
Using my gift for these types of films is what makes me feel fulfilled. When I use it for other ones, and there's nothing wrong with other genres at all. If I try to make a heist film,
right,
it doesn't, it don't click. It just doesn't.
Sunnye.
So when you said that, you could do any content you want to, but it's
anything.
Something.
It's
something
different
about this where you're shining and your reach is.
Mm-hmm. It's different. It's different. I can definitely attest to that, and that's why I wanted to bring you on, because I wanted people to see how now you light up. Not that they saw you before, but
here we go.
Now in this space, how you light up. You can talk about your 26 years and, the struggles and the highs and the lows, not just struggle, but the highs and the lows of it. But Sunnye, I want people to see you when you talk about, your true love, and when you talk about what wakes you up in the morning. Yes. And when you talk about what pushes you forward, and even when you're super tired, you still manage to write something down. You still manage to think of a plot twist. You still manage. You
get me.
Before, you weren't doing that for work.
No.
And I know you weren't.
No, not to. And so I also say this to people who think that a retirement is impossible. It looks different for everyone, right? Like I took an early retirement. So for me, it's really a career transition, leaving something where I felt unfulfilled and now walking in my purpose.
Yeah.
For some of your other viewers, it might be something else, right? Like maybe you go from full-time to part-time and now you've got an extra 8 hours to do what you really want to do. It's different for everyone, but you can do it, especially when you find the community that's already doing it. They're going to listen to them. They're going to show you exactly how to do it. And I remember, and it may take, like it may not be a suddenly blessing, right? It may take 5 years,
right?
10 years. I guarantee you, when I actually signed off on the retirement, I thought about it and I was like, number one, this is better than what I could have ever conceived of, just being able to do it. And number two, the 26-year wait was worth it.
Oh my gosh.
And I know it sounds cliche, but I promise y'all, the wait is worth it. You won't even think about it.
Sunnye, listen, I appreciate you in so many ways.
Thank you.
I really do, but I appreciate you more for taking time away to come and do this with me.
Thank you for asking. You know I'm honored. When you first brought up the idea, I was like,
Sunnye, I'm grateful. Like everybody that has been here so far has felt that, and I know that comes from God, because I just want to sit and chat, really.
But it's you. It's you who brings us to the table, to the couch, who makes it easy. I think it's my first one. Yeah, my first one of these. So now the bar is like super high for people in the future. Unrealistically high. It's you. It is. Yeah.
Thank you, Sunnye. Thank you.
All things you.
Thank you.
I cannot wait for this. What this second season is going to unfold.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I can't wait to see it either. This is completely unknown. Like I have, if I'm being honest with you, and I can be honest with the audience, I have no expectations.
That's the best place to start.
I have no expectations. I'm just sharing. I'm just sharing my people. I'm sharing my people with my people. That's it. So whatever that does.
We're very selfish with you. It would be really interesting to have like a class reunion at the end of the, you know what I'm saying, and see us all try to share you.
That would actually be fun, and I think you guys would share me just fine. It would be hard for me to put it all in one episode. I think that would be so difficult.
It would be chaos. Mm-hmm.
It would be, because I'd be wanting to ask all the questions. Anyway, yeah, Sunnye, okay, I do want to ask you. Mm-hmm. I know you just gave, the audience, that tidbit about it's possible and it looks different for everybody. I mean, your race, your lane is your race and your lane, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if there was something that you could leave with the audience, if there was something else maybe that you wanted to say to them in regards to you or whatever, it doesn't even have to be about you. Just anything you want to say. What would that be? Or
I would definitely want to hit on. I'm going to hit on the power. Don't underestimate the power of 1%. So it's not that I retired. First of all, I don't have a trust fund. I started at the bottom with my little 401k, was adding. And I say 1%, not only in terms of, okay, financially, how did I accomplish this? I had 26 years, right, to grow the money. But of course, I started small. Yeah. I started with the 1% when I was a little GS5. I was
Yeah.
GS5 is super broke. For y'all don't know. You ain't making no money. But I started with the 1% contribution, and even beyond the financial, when it comes to pursuing your dream, when it comes to launching the podcast, when it comes to writing the screenplay, if you can only write half a page, 1% of the screenplay, if you can only record, girl, 2 minutes, don't you know if you do that every week for 5 months, my math is bad, but you got a lot of percentages. You do. What is that? I don't know. I mean, 15 is at least 15. That's a lot of time. Yes. Yeah. And that means something. And that is the beginning of the beginning. The 1% is the beginning of the beginning.
So you're saying just start.
Just start. Don't overthink it. I used to be an overthinker.
Yeah. I still am.
Recovering overthinker. You're a little younger than me, so you're going to run out of energy. And then I promise you it'll start.
Oh, yeah. I'm starting to feel it.
You will run out of energy.
Yeah. But listen, Sunnye said it best. Just start. Just start.
Hit the send button. Export the file.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make the phone call.
1, 2, 3, do it.
Just do it. Just send the text.
Yeah.
Write the note.
And it's a hard thing. And I know it sounds cliche to just say, just do it. But literally there's certain things. I hate making dentist appointments. In fact, I have to make one now. I have like a feel. Anyhow, I hate it. And literally, I'll have the phone in my hand. I have to say, Sunnye, 1, 2, 3, just do it.
Just do it.
1, 2, 3, just do it.
Wow. Okay, Nike, don't come for us, but just do it. Sunnye, thank you again.
Jackie, thank you.
You're welcome. You guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to us and getting through we did pretty good with we didn't tear up too much.
No.
We did pretty good.
I'm proud of myself.
Yes,
I've had the best time, though. I'll tell you that. I don't want this to end.
Well, it doesn't have to. We just got to cut the camera. No, I'm just kidding. You guys, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, Pace with Jacqueline. I will see you then. Bye.
Bye, Pace family.